I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, today we'll be hearing a presentation from Caltrans regarding the Highway 74 median project.
Good morning, Commissioners, City Manager. Thank you for having Caltrans here today to present the Raised Curve Median project to you. Here today we have Icon Yaya, the Acting Manager for Caltrans District 8 for Sustainability, Assets, Innovation. We have the Project Manager for the Raised Curve Median project, Major Nadeeb. And we have Caltrans District 8 Chief of Public and Media Affairs, Terry Kazinga. And we have a Public Information Officer, Joy Schneider, as well as myself, David Matza, the Government Affairs and Legislative Liaison for District 8. We hope that you guys enjoy the presentation, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. And with that, we'll bring it back.
Good morning. Again, my name is Haitham Yahya. I'm the Acting Chief for Sustainability and Asset Administration Manager. And also I'm the Program Advisor for all safety projects within the District 8, which is encompass San Bernardino and Riverside County. And this is one of my projects too. So we're gonna start with the presentation regarding this project, how we started with the project and where we are at this time. So Caltrans at all, we have a commitment to make to the highway safety improvement programs. That's part of the Code of Title 23 of the United States Code Section 148. This is to reduce fatalities and injuries on all public works, and the SIP, what we call the Highway Safety Improvement Program, is to ensure that the funds available for these type of projects is spent on locations that the expenditures will result in the greatest benefits to the highway users. The HSIP, which is the Highway Safety Improvement Program, has multiple monitoring programs. Some of them is a spot location, some of them is kind of like a long segment that's a create of what we call cross-leading collision, run-out-the-road collisions, or wrong-way collisions. And these programs actually has certain rate and criteria, and to identify which project on which corridor we spend the money on. And for this project, it's actually part of what we call the multi-lane cross-median collision monitor program. It's a long document right there. So this is the rate. For a segment of a road to qualify for this kind of program, you have the minimum collision criteria are a total cross-median collision rate of 0.5 collisions per mile per year, and a minimum of 3 cross-median collisions for a 5-year period, or a fatal cross-median collision rate of 0.12 fatal collisions per mile per year, and a minimum of 3 fatal cross-median collisions for a 5-year period. So that's 2 criteria for that. And this State Law 74 actually qualified for this type of improvement, and we have about 3 segments on 74. One extend from 15 to 215, one extend from 215 to the almost west city of Hemet, and the one is within the city of Hemet. So this project is within the city of Hemet. In December 2012, District 8, which is, like I said, that covers San Bernardino and Riverside County, we received the MCMMP monitoring programs from the HSIP headquarters, and identified that the segment 74 met or exceed the total cross-median collision at the rate we talked about earlier. And that's based on collision data that's from January 1st, 2006 to December 31st, 2010. You know, the engineer in District 8 made the data, they analyzed the data, and they did the field reviews and did some data analysis, and the recommendation was from this study is to do the raised curve median as a countermeasure for this type of collision that we have. And we sent this stuff to headquarters, and we got concurrence from headquarters on this project in July 2013. In spring 2015, a PID, what we call Project Initiation Document, was completed and approved to secure the funding. What is this document? It's not a mental document or nothing. It's all preparation, getting the layout, figuring out exactly the limits of the project, and how do we want to fund the project and where the project can extend. This is all internal, has nothing to do with external. This is an idea, and see how we're going to address it and what the impact to the right of way and input all these issues. So this is the first step that Caltrans need to do. It took about a year and a half to complete that process. Since spring 2015, Caltrans staff has been working to complete the environmental study, which is the next step, is the project report and the environmental studies that to construct and develop the plan to construct and the project and also do the specification for the project. Since December 2015, Caltrans has monthly project development team meetings. It's we call it the PDD meeting with the city staff that's included in the meeting. And on a few occasions, we also met with the mayor of the city of Hemet and city councils and representatives of the fire, police, and representatives also from the Chamber of Commerce on this project. Okay. During these meetings, we always been asked about a traffic impact analysis studies, and this safety programs is very difficult to. Actually, it's not required for the safety project to do traffic impact analysis studies, and that's why we keep repeating and we answer it in cities. But as that question keep coming along, so what we did is probably in about March or February this year, what we did is we picked up a segment on 74 within this project. We did a blog and we did a traffic impact analysis. The issues why we don't want to do traffic impact analysis on this project because it's a long miles project, that's about 7 miles, and you have to study every single access point with all the traffic coming into it or coming out of that driveways or street. And you're going to get all these numbers. So the data to collect these will take about 2 years plus to get the data collected. So what we did is we looked at a block, and what we did is we took on that block and we looked at all the existing traffic, we kept the existing traffic, and what we did is we did a comparison. If all these access points now have a full access, what I mean is all the driveways, people can come in, make a right in, right out, left in, left out. And what we did is we said, okay, this is what it looks like. And we did another analysis saying, all the left in and left out is excluded from that block and make them to send them to the intersection and make a U-turn. And we made a comparison, and that's what we're going to share with you right now. And this, by the way, this block is between Gilmore Street and Lion. We pick up that block is between the mall and the downtown. So it's kind of like an average where the traffic is in a, kind of like we have mid-average, not the highest peak location and not the lowest peak location. This is a copy of the letter of the analysis that we sent to the city engineer in, I believe the date, you cannot see it here. The date is around April of this year. So this is what we did. It's Caltrans did the research on operational benefits and replacing the existing two-way left lane with a raised median on segment 74 between Gilmore Street and Lion Avenue with the project limit and perform traffic circulation analysis for that segment. The outcome trips for the project businesses within the segment were considered. When half of these trips were assumed to make a U-turn. So what we did is actually, let's say I own a business. Let's say I own an In-N-Out burger place in the middle of this block. I have the driveways. So my trips, like say I have 10 visitors my peak hours. So what I did is I said 5 of them coming from the east, 5 of them coming from the west. We assume that because we don't know actually the numbers. We assume half of the trip coming from one side, the other half coming from the other side. And that's why we determine how these people are making the right turn or the left turn into these driveways, in or out of these driveways. And also what we did is we assume that we did 30 cycles per hour. That's what we assume for the intersection. On the intersection, what it means on the traffic signal, 30 cycles. That means we give the traffic signals 2-minute cycles for for each, to complete cycle. Like you go from all direction, it takes you 2 minutes to have the whole cycle of the traffic signals. So we did all this consideration, and what we did also, we have a program, it's a simulation, it's a synchro analysis, and we'll show that to you right now. Okay. So the first thing is use a median title to instead of two-way left lane. What's the impact of that? Adding a median to a road that previously has continuous left lane can reduce the crash rate of by 37% and the injury rate about 48%. The reason is the median can reduce the number of potential outlets and reduce the movement on the traffic on the roadway that's such as a two-way left lane, and it is less. As the two-way left lane is less safe than a median, is that a driver who is turning left must be able to ensure that the traffic clear from the direction of multiple lanes. What does that mean is, as you're coming out of the driveway, you're going to clear your eastbound and your westbound, and you also have people in the median. So that person in the driveway has to clear all this direction. But when we have a two-way left lane, all we have to clear is the traffic that's coming into your direction only is the right turn. Let's say if you're in eastbound, you have to clear only the eastbound. If you go into the westbound, you only have to clear the westbound. That's pretty much what this diagram is about. And by doing so, that will reduce the crash rates. Okay, there is a question always keep asked. Customers cannot turn into business anymore. That's a little picture here. I don't know if you guys in the back can see that. This is the complex. This is the driveway. Look how many complex points you have if you go into a driveway when you have a full access. See, the number of your customers making a left turn into business is likely already very low during peak time period hours. We determine that usually the businesses is off peak a little bit, but this is also, we're still considering that. If you are congested roadway, this is because the left turn into the business becomes increasingly difficult as the traffic volume of opposing lane increase. And we'll show you that, why we came up with that sentence, because we'll show you in the simulation of that. Perhaps today your customers wait with apprehensive to turn left as cars queue behind them, or must to cross a busy road to complete a left turn out. A turn lane in a median opening or signalization intersection will allow them to wait safely to complete a U-turn when traffic is clear. So it's better to send them to a controlled intersection and then let them make these movements as they want to do it, as they're doing today. And truly, a safer option out of the zero. In fact, the left turn into and out of driveway is less safe than a U-turn, and it compromises the majority of driveway crashes. Studies have shown that making a U-turn at a median opening to get to the opposite side of the busy highway is about 25% safer than a direct left turn from a straight across the board. And we'll show you all where we get these information from. Okay, we have a long presentation. I mean, we can share this with you, but I want to go to the whole thing right here. The majority survey, this is what we did. There's a survey done on businesses, and they say the majority of survey merchants, 60% of the 96 respondents reported little or no economic impact to their business. If you change from two-way left lane to race-field median, there's about 60% survey there's no any reported income to their businesses. Some type of loss is about 14. During the business that feel that were adversely impacted also have competition nearby or may have experienced reduced visibility of site. This study came out from, I believe there's a similar project on Florida, right here. Reconstruction project in Florida involving numerous median opening closures. So this is a similar project that they already completed, and that's what the result of the impact of that project. These are the benefits of the race median. Race median provide additional benefits above and beyond reducing pedestrian and crashes. Race median has been found to reduce motor vehicle crashes by 15%, decrease delay. Okay, we always hear over, it's going to cause problems. Actually, the race median reduce your delay by 30%. And resulted in increase of capacity. Can help actually more people move in the corridor better. Has been shown to reduce vehicle speed on the roadway. It's part of a complete street element that reduces actually calm people down and let them drive on a slower speed. Provide space for landscaping within the right way. You can use the medium for also landscaping, and I think we are, based on a recommendation from the city, we are proposing a landscape in this project. Provide space to install additional roadway, lighting, further improvement safety of the roadway. We are actually adding some traffic signals, modification to about 6 existing traffic signals. We added a protected left turn phasing. That also came up after the first public meeting that we had with the city. Provide space to provide supplemental signage on multiple lane roadways. That means you can use the median also to put some signages, direction, and all information that are related to the road. Can be less expensive to build and maintain at the median. What does that mean? It's actually for maintaining ways, taking the pavement out and make it as a landscape or make it a hot landscape. It's cheaper for the state also. Okay, this is the segment we have actually postmarked. We marked the highway by these numbers. It's between Gamoshi and Ryan, and these are the traffic what we did. Well, so what we did, we pick up the businesses. These are the number coming traffic from each business. We divide it into 2 because, like I said, some of them will be going east, some of them will go west, and we figured how many vehicles will be going to the left-hand pocket to add to the, to add the traffic to the traffic signals that we're already going to handle. The people, instead of making a left turn, they're going to come to the traffic signals and make a U-turn. And these are the way we calculated. We said half trips going out of the 74 eastbound westbound will make a U-turn at each intersection, and half of the trip will go straight to 74 eastbound or westbound. That's exactly what I said. Okay, these are the references where we get this stuff. We get an old study from the federal. There's a few study that the federal is completed and showing the benefit of the race curve median over the 2-way left turn lane. We're not saying that the 2-way left turn lane doesn't work. 2-way left turn lane works perfectly in an environment where the volume does not exceed the 20,000 plus or minus average daily traffic every day, which is this corridor. Now we're experiencing about 25,000 average daily traffic, plus of the numbers of the access. So you could have a corridor has a higher number, but if you don't have too many access in the middle of the block, it works perfectly. But when you have multiple access, when you have driveways 50 feet or 200 feet apart, this is a very problematic for safety, plus also additional for operation. As we see also that the operation has an issue today with what we have within the city of Hemet because of all these turn and movement on this highway. I apologize, I don't know if you can see that. These are actually what we did also part of the study. We picked up, this is what we call our table B data, which is actually all the collisions that we have on the corridors. Between this block only, in the last 5 years, we have only 16 collisions. We don't have fatality. Can you hear me when I'm speaking from here, guys? Yes. Okay. We have 16 total, 13 of them is injuries, and no fatality luckily in this block. And that's a period from 5 years. That the latest data Caltrans has right now is from 2010 to 2015. That's July 2010 to June 30th, 2015. So this is actually another the same data but in different format, and these are the collisions listed here. All the collisions are reported by either the local enforcement area, the police, or our CHP department. This is the block we're talking about. This is the intersection right here of Gilmore, and this is the other intersection, our Lion Ring market. That was when they go. Lion Ring market. And these are the driveways that we have. And if you notice, the blue is the injury. So all these collisions, if you notice it, it's happening in the middle of the block. And I want you to keep your eyes also on this. You can see it very well. Most of the blue is actually in front of the driveways. So that driveways is actually has a kind of contribution to this type of collision that we're facing in this corridor. These are also, this is what the engineer did, is actually to determine all the movements. So they pick up every business, they determine what the traffic of each business and how they're going. Are they going east, west, left, right? All this good information is already provided. That's also another sheet right there. That's north of the highway and south of the highway. This is also this is all the businesses. We identify all the businesses in this block and determine based on the traffic index that we pick up what the traffic of potential of this business, and we pick up the peak of their business number. So it's not their daily average, it's actually what we believe as the maximum number of customers visiting to each of these businesses. And also this is part of the data that the engineer worked, and I'm just showing you exactly. See how long it took for only one block we're talking about. And we did all these movement, we put it on the corridor. This is another one, and we determined the level of it. And this is the output of the data, and I apologize if you can see. This is actually, this is a way we can make it darker for people to see, I don't know. Anyway, I want to point out a very important number here. This is what we're going to say. This number right here, this number right here is what we call, because we really took one intersection, and we want to see what's the impact to that people making a left turn or a U-turn on that intersection. Because that's a question keep coming from the city. It's going to cause problems. So this number here is westbound left turn. Existing without the race curve median, with the two-way left turn lane, we have 30 vehicles that peak hour are making a left turn there. So what we did is, after we did the calculation and the circulation, and we moved the left turn out of these driveways and put them into the traffic signals and let them make a U-turn, we went from 30 vehicles per hour to 150. So right now, we put 150 vehicles on that left turn pocket. And the impact, we go back, in the bottom you see we have level of service of ease. Two directional is ease and two directional is these, which is still both of them are acceptable. So if we go to the one where we added the 120 vehicles, right? 120 vehicles we added extra, and also ease. Yeah, we dropped two lanes from D to E, but E is still acceptable, and it's still a good level of service. What I'm going to do is actually right now I'm going to show you a little simulation of this. Is what I'm going to show you right now is how the traffic circulate where we have the two-way left lane with the businesses. And I want you to keep your eyes with me. Oh. Can we do that? Oh, here's that. Oh. All right.
Stop playing.
You know,
It's looking like
this is the simulation.
it's supposed to play.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Where is this camera now? Just flop it over.
Keep it playing. They kept playing. It is playing. Just that.
Just slow.
No, it's playing. It's playing. That's one concept.
No, this is actually good. Sorry about that, guys. You know what, let's go to the 1 5 stuff. The existing, yeah, that's one. Open number. No, number 5.
Just hit continue.
So what we're going to do here is we show you the simulation is what the computer program does is we put all these numbers we talk about, existing numbers, all the movement is coming up, and we'll show you exactly how the people coming out of the driveways trying to make a left turn or a right turn and what the impact to them with the two-way left turn lane. Then we do another simulation showing the same thing but with the race curve median and sending everybody to the left to the traffic signal to make a U-turn and shows exactly the difference. And there's, hopefully we can share that with you because it's very important. It'll give you that. Here we go. Thank you. Okay, so this is existing. All right. What I want you to keep your eye on, this is one of the driveways right here. You see that, you can see that blue vehicle right here is attempting to make a left. And because of the traffic with the two-way left lane, I want you to see how many cycles for the Gilmore to go through for this vehicle to make a left turn. And there's other example, but just pay attention to this one. So this is the first cycle, and this person want to make a left turn, cannot make a left turn. Because it's closer, with the volume of the traffic on two-way left turn lane going on. You see there's two vehicles behind it that's yellow. These yellow mean they want to make a right turn. And they're going to be frustrated. And you know what's going to happen when you wait, for a couple minutes behind somebody, you're going to start pushing that guy out. So this is the second cycle. So this person was not able to make a left turn out. And like I said, this is with the two-way left turn lane. And it's operated. This is a peak hour time. This is the volumes. The local street is already congested. Look at this. This is Gilmore. That's not the state highways. So there is an issue with Gilmore Street, yes. But that's not what the project is about. The project is only State 74. Gilmore is the city of Hemet project. If they have any future project on this. So the 74 is operated okay. But see, this is the third cycle, and this guy was not able to still make a left turn out. Or maybe he did already. That's a version. Yeah. So it takes three cycles for this guy to be able to make a left turn. Same thing for other drivers. So this is gonna run for about 5 minutes and showing all the stuff. There's not much, but I want you to also, because you're gonna see the queue on the local street. These are the local street queuing, which is a problem today for the city. But this project is addressing only 74. We will work with the city if they have a problem with any of these streets as a further projects. See, there's another car. He's standing here. It's going to be one. So maybe we can go to the second one to show the difference. I don't want to mess it up.
Just minimize it.
So this is with the race curve median. All the red vehicles you see in the left pocket on both sides, these people are making a U-turn. These people are actually coming from any of these driveways that were originally want to make a left. Now they could not make a left because of the race curve median. They come to the intersection and make a U-turn. And if you notice, one cycle will clear them out, and there is no queuing into the lane. And if you see the driveways, all the driveways, no vehicles, any of the driveways has to wait more than a few seconds to get into the system. That shows you exactly why the two-way left lane with multiple access, the race curve median is a better option for these when you start getting certain volumes of traffic on the major corridor. It's the same problem on Gilmore or Lion Street. The local street has queuing. There is maybe if the city want to come in and do some other adjustment to that, the state are willing to work with them on these issues. But if you notice, even a truck coming from the street, he didn't have to wait even a second. Right away, get in. And this is actually run also for around 5 or 6 minutes, but we don't have to, unless. And you see the backup, it's not that much anymore on any singles. Because one cycle will go. And these backup right here, because we didn't change the timing, we can easily improve it by also adjusting timing. But we don't want to impact Lion Street. We kept the traffic signal timing the same as condition as today's. All right. I'm going to go back to my presentation. So these are also what we did is this is a printout of the collision data for the whole corridor. What I did actually, this is the total collision data for the whole project. This is the table B, what I told you, table B, that give you all the collisions that happened on the corridor from the beginning of the project to the end of the project, and this is run only for 3 years. This is from September 2012 till August 31st, 2015. And I apologize, the print, I can see it very well here, but you cannot see it. I'm going to read it for you here. We have a 380 total collision. 7 of them are fatal, 254 are injury, and 119 are PDO. So this is the total collision. That includes everything. That includes intersection, includes everything. What we did is, because also the question also came before, you're fixing the blocks. You're not fixing the intersection. The intersection is still going to be a problem. So I said, yeah, that's fine. And that's why this is actually a description of what kind of collision happening, what collision, the time, the date, is it the rain, or is it summer, all this stuff, all this information for all the data. And what we did is also we ran the same period of time from September 2012 till August 31st, 2015, with the same length of the project, the total project. That's only for the highway. So what we did is we ran the program and we exclude the accident happening on the intersection. That means all the intersection, the collision happened on the intersection, we took it out. That means the collision happened 250 feet from the intersection is excluded. So we took all the intersection collision out, and we have 250 total collision. So originally we have 380, now we have 250. So there's 130 collision happening on the intersection, and 250 happening in the blocks, between all these blocks that we have on the state highway. The number of fatality went down to 5. We have 5 fatals. That means on the intersection we have only 2 fatal collisions. We have the majority of fatal collision happening in the middle of the blocks. And the injuries actually went to, it's really hard to see this one. I think either 140 or 160. I apologize, it's very here over too. So even with the injury, it went down, but it still is a high number too. So as you see, that even excluded, because the comment came from the city that, this project is not to fix intersection, we exclude the data, we still have a high collision data concentration in the middle blocks. And also these are explained, all these highway collision, where it happened and the time and everything. What we did also, we took the whole corridor, and we have the dot is red for fatal, the blue is injuries, and the yellow is property. We did 2 runs for you. We did a run that have 2 all type of collision, all the collision, including the intersection. We put a dot for every collision where it's happening. And we did it for the whole corridor. This is the beginning of the project. We're starting right here, and we're gonna go straight. And if you notice it, again, where you see the concentration, in front of the driveways. We know we have concentration on the intersection, but we'll deal with that on different issues. But also, if you look at the driveways, all the concentration is in front of the driveways. And these are data coming from police, not from us. These are the data is collected from actual collision happening on the road. These data is actually we receive it from CHP or the local enforcement area. So this is the first stretch. This is the second. And I want to go. We have like 9 pictures. And if you notice, the whole concentration where I want to take it in an area where we don't have too many access. We'll show you how this is the fatality. This is almost by downtown. The fatality is happening around the downtown area. These are the 2 fatality at the intersection. I cannot read these intersections. There's this one right here and that one, but the rest is on the block. Okay. If you notice right here, we don't have collision because we have only 1 driveway. So when you reduce the driveway, the number of the driveways, your collision in the middle block is gone. We're not saying go ahead and close the driveway. We're saying let's put the 2-way left lane to reduce all this stoplight movement. And these are what we're showing right here. This is a video and all this, the collision. And this is one more. If you look at the end of the project, you see there's no access. There's still one collision, but it's not concentration like the other ones. And what we did, actually, we did the similar run, but we took all the intersection collision out. And it kind of show you the same pattern that all the block that you see on the intersection is gone. So you see this road that this is actually 250 feet away from the intersection. And it'll give you the same result if we go to an area where there is not much businesses like this. No access, no collision. No access, no collision. This is the data. This is something. And I want to conclude with this and take the questions. Okay. Yes, sir.
At one time, Florida, you could only make a right turn going on to Florida. So what happened? When did we start doing left turns on Florida?
Thank you, sir, for bringing this one up, because actually it's still the law on a lot of driveways. Because if you notice, a lot of driveways has the signage, has the arrows marking on the ground, restricting everybody to make a right turn. But I'm not an enforcement person. A lot of people do it illegally. So what we're doing here, actually, I'm glad you read. I didn't want to touch this on my presentation, but since you asked the question, what we're doing here, actually, a lot of driveway is restricted. Already have a restriction from people making a left out. They're allowing left in, but they're restricting left out. But we addressed it as we're saying we're renovating the whole thing. We're making the whole thing. I agree. That's actually the city is on board with that, because some of these businesses got the permit from the city, and the city always permitted them only on right out only, no left out. And also, we did not bring on our presentation. We did have actually shared with the city since 2015. The minute we started with this, we initiated this project, every new developer came into the city, any new businesses, small or large businesses, and they have a driveway access to 74. We made a restriction, and it was obligated to the owner to build the race curb median in front of their property. But we made a deal with the cities and the contractor and the business owner. We're saying, you know what, just sign it right now, because the state gonna pay for that. There's a few businesses came to the city that would be actually on them to pay for the race curb median. And we exclude that from the condition that we put, and there was a letter sent to the city in that regard from starting 2013.
I would just make a point of order that all of that stuff you showed us was a simulation that was created at your office to benefit your presentation. It was not a satellite image of reality.
Thank you, ma'am. But that's actually, we have no benefit of the project move forward or not. This is the benefit of the city and the user of the corridors. So there is no manipulation of the data. The data is available for anybody who would like to see it.
We can just hold the questions from the public for just a moment. I'll ask them this one. Commissioners, any questions? I had a comment. Based on those numbers with the traffic collisions, how many of those were pedestrian-related accidents? Are we just talking strictly vehicle here?
The total there is fatality, and there's
what I'm saying is out of that percent, we have a high number of jaywalkers and pedestrians that don't follow the law, just as many that as drivers. How many of these accidents, these numbers, were pedestrian-related?
Let me see if I can get it from you.
I'd like to get for a committee here a copy of all this, so that we'll have it on. Because we're going to, once the public finds out about it, they're going to be coming to us for questions. So we're going to need copies of all this to make sure that we're.
I am just curious.
I have the number. I'm just waiting for it.
And I am curious why more in-depth traffic analysis is required of this. I mean, we're required for just about anything to do with traffic. I'm just curious.
Which is fine, sir. Let me answer one question, Dan. The first question he asked about auto pedestrian. We do have from the total, based on the 3 years data we have 29 pedestrian auto-related collision. And just one comment also, like I said, when we talk about the reduction factors, the race curb median actually has a big effect. We don't encourage people to jaywalk and cross, but the race curb median is actually has proven that is a very safe countermeasure for pedestrians who actually jaywalk in the middle of the block. So the race curve median does give you two things. The race curve median, if we do landscape on it, so it actually puts some blocks for people to go around it, if we be able to put some type of things to block them, actually to discourage them to move. But let's say because of the drought and stuff like that, we cannot get with too many bushes to block the pedestrian, but it's safe in the middle of the block. So they don't have to cross 5 lanes, no, they cross it only 2 lanes at a time. But again, we're not encouraging, it's against the law to cross mid-block without marking a crosswalk marking. And the other questions you said related about
Traffic analysis.
yeah, the traffic analysis. This is the same. Like I said, this is based on the Highway Safety Improvement Program, which is federal mandated to respond to the federal on this. All safety projects are not required to do a traffic analysis impact for one reason. The reason of that is we are not generating traffic. The project does not increase the traffic. There is no traffic capacity increasing with the type of project. We are modifying the movement, but we're not increasing the traffic. As you see, there is no impact to the traffic. We just moved one vehicle from probably 1,000 feet to the right and 1,000 feet to the left. We're not adding trips. So because we're not adding trips, the law does not require you to do traffic impact analysis. The law says you must do traffic impact analysis for business, when not for all businesses, only when a business have a capacity increase of a traffic number of 50 vehicles additional. So if you don't have the 50 trips additional, you don't have to do traffic impact analysis. And this project is adding 0 vehicles to the system. We are moving the circle up, the vehicles around, but we're not adding traffic volume to the system.
I would just like to add that I am a little disappointed that Caltrans didn't work more closely with the city. You bring up that you're under the assumption that In-N-Out only gets 10 cars per hour, when anyone in town can tell you that during lunchtime and dinner time, In-N-Out is backed out onto Highway 74, and other businesses see the same thing. Between Sanderson and Kirby, during lunch and dinner time, traffic is insane through there.
And I apologize. I use an example of In-N-Out, not knowing exactly what the business is around, and I use the number 10 is out of my head. It's not something. It's in the simulation. The simulation is actually the numbers and the type of businesses is picked up from the traffic index that is set by the Fed. It's not by me. So all the number you saw here and the traffic movement is actually the peak hours for their businesses. Okay, so if I use the wrong example, I apologize for that. I'm just giving an idea for the audience and yourself as how we come up with a number. We took a business, we look at the traffic index, whatever that business is. Could be In-N-Out, it could be Standard Brother, or whatever that business is. We took that business, and based on the traffic index, based on when they come up to the city and say, I want to have the driveway, you ask them for the same numbers. That's the same numbers that you ask them for, we put that numbers on our simulation. So we pick that numbers, and the only assumption we made is, because we don't know exactly how they move, we assume 50% of them gonna make the right or go eastbound, and 50% go westbound. That's the only assumption we did. Because to actually have it exactly do that, to do the traffic analysis, we have to sit down on every driveways, and at the same time, we have to do all driveways. That means we have to have people, you have to do the impact analysis, you have to do it in the same type of period. So you have to take actually a human being to go on every single driveway, sit down with a counting machine for 4 days or 3 days minimum, counting every vehicle, making a right in, right out, right here, left in, left out. And that's what we're saying. 7 miles with the number of drivers we have, that will take the whole division of, I don't know how many numbers. I cannot even estimate how many numbers of people I need to put on the field to get these numbers. And the data, I can guarantee you. And I probably, if you check with your engineers or any specialty engineers, with these couple projects, like I said, because we're not adding any volume to the system, this time is actually waste. I'm not saying waste for some people is important, but we did that as an example. But it's for us as an engineer, we know this is not going to do anything different, because it's not going to give you different results of what we propose.
I think a lot of assumptions and generalizations are being made with this plan, at least from my point of view. I don't think it's rather prudent with a population of over 80,000 people to just generalize every block as being the same. You have some blocks that have quite a bit more, businesses than others. It might have been more prudent to perhaps study, between Kirby and Sanderson versus, Gilmore and Kirby, which is not as populated. I just feel like we're not doing our citizens a service or our businesses in the 74 corridor a service by ignoring their pleas and not being out there at least every other driveway. We're the ones that are stuck dealing with this in the end, and I have all respect for everything you've done. I think in the end we can make this a great project if we continue to work together on this. But the word assumption kept popping up, and that's what kind of worries me on this, that we're not necessarily looking at this as the broad scope and then narrowing it in and targeting it in, which is really what we need to be doing here. We have a list of 17 driveways and intersections that we have concerns over, and I'm really not seeing anything in this presentation in regards to that. This number's down from what it could have been too. I mean, there's quite a few concerns that were addressed from both the city staff level and the public. So, we just want to work. We want to be a partner in this with you guys and work together to make this the best for, not an ego thing, but, make it the best for the community and our citizens.
Thank you for that. But again, with respect to everybody here, is traffic impact analysis. Any traffic impact analysis, you have to use the assumption. Even if you do the counts, because what you do the count today, you cannot see what's going to happen tomorrow. They'll give you an average and you do the assumption. I've been doing traffic impact analysis for the last 15 years. All the traffic impact analysis that I reviewed or have done or I completed or I shared with is all has assumption into it. There's no way you can do that because it's something that you have to look into in the future and you have to predict, and that's what you use your assumption. What we did is we did comparisons for block. We could have used that another block. We asked the city if they want to do that, give us the traffic circulation. There is no way the traffic, even the city engineers can go do that. We know that. Nobody can go ahead and do all the traffic count. With respect of communication with the city, we've been in contact with the city since day one. We know about the project. What we mean by that one is the city. We send a letter to the city saying we have a registered meeting coming. The first time when we have a project, I said, when we're doing the PID, the project initiating document, this is something internal. We could not go to the city and give them the detail, but the city sent us a couple proposals or 3 proposals, and we responded to the city saying we have a registered meeting coming, and we're going to do this project as coming soon, and they agree on this access to these businesses that are coming. And also with respect of the whole, the 17 location, you probably, I don't know, the same that the comment that we received, because we received a comment about 4 weeks ago on our 95% PSME circulation as a plan specification and estimate circulation. We did address these comments. These comments came about also about a year ago. We sat with the city, we sat with the mayor, we addressed every single drivers of these issues, and we have a response to these. We have a conflict on a couple of them. We went and we addressed one. The other one we did not address. We have one major is to the mall. We addressed that. We came back and we came to the city and we gave them the solution to that. And I think that even the mall is on. I don't know exactly, but I think we're getting in a positive even with the mall. Right.
Just for clarification though, when you came to us last year with this project, you guys stated that you've been working on it for 3 years and nobody at the staff level knew anything about it. So when you're saying that we knew about it from the get-go, we really didn't. Like, we could have been working on this, not completely, but we could have at least had a little bit of heads up, 4.5 years ago now, and not just be sitting here, trying to figure out what's going on.
I'm not saying no. What we said is December 15th is when we initiated the project. On the mental document, on the PID is a little bit difficult because I said it's a concept that we're looking into, trying to see a little bit to see what we can do. We don't know exactly where we need to have opening. We don't know where we need to put what the width of the registered median, how it's going to be placed, how's the left bucket. So and I agree. But like I said, we did have communication with the city prior to the December 2015. I have letters that we sent to the city, responses to certain projects, that these projects are coming as a future development into this city. And we told them there is a project coming as a race comedian, and these driveways must be have right in, right out only. And a race comedian must be placed with the developers. Then after communication, we said, you know what? We have the project coming in as of now, just sign it. Put as a sign, as the gentleman says earlier, we have some restriction on the left in or left out, and we did it by signage. But again, yes, the first letter of communication came in, I believe, from our project manager. He's sitting here, and it went to the city in December 2015. Yes.
I have one more question.
Sure.
A lot of people have asked me when this is going to take place. Is this construction going to take place in the middle of the day? Is there any way we can get this done at night so it'll have less impact on traffic on Florida Avenue?
Definitely, this will be our next stage. Is actually we'll work with the cities on the best time to do it. Is that what we did earlier? I think we have a project that we failed on as the pavement project that we came in, and we heard from the city and the businesses, and I think we made a change order in the middle of the construction, and we changed it tonight. At least now we are aware of that situation. This will definitely consulted with the city staff and some businesses on what the best time to be built the project. Yes. And actually, there's a lot of money for the public promotion to deal with media from our team here to deal to advertise for the project, to be the known business, and to accommodate for all these access. By the way, driveways and all the stuff during construction, that would be restricted. That would be, I don't want to say be certain, but I believe 99% there would not be any close of any driveways unless there is work next right on that driveway. There will be no close of the driveways because we're working in the median most of the work. There's only a couple, I think about 4 corners that we have to do a little fix so we can allow more people to make a U-turn. Some location already existing cannot make a U-turn. So because we have to lose the U-turn, so we have to shift a little bit from that corner. So there's a driveway adjacent to that one. I'm not really sure if they're going to be impacted or not, but definitely there will be compensation and there will be traffic circulation for that driveway addressed before we go to construction.
Any other comments or questions from the commission? All right, thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to open up the meeting to public comment. If you haven't already filled out a request to speak form, please do so. I'd like to ask Tom Hogan. Schubel? Yes. All right. Didn't want to butcher that. Sorry. Tom Schubel.
My name is Tom Schubel. I'm a citizen of the Valley for 20 years, and I drive the fire engine here and at Station 3. I'd just like to start off today. God bless this town and the leaders that make the decisions for the city. I heard you folks talking, you're not from Hemet. She said she's from Hemet. That was a lot of information. Good information. Okay, good. But she said Riverside.
For 25 years.
Okay. Riverside, we're Hemet. You folks, that's a lot of information. Let's wake up here. Where we have meetings is at Home Depot, Sanderson. What happens is when it's gridlock. We know it's gridlock. So, I respond in a fire truck. I have to bypass that area to get to somebody's heart attack. And that takes time. People die. This is about liability, and you guys don't want a head-on collision. But the liability now falls on us because on here, you're talking a lot about Lyon and Gilmore. What we need to talk about is the intersections between 7 and 8, which is the downtown. If that gridlocks the downtown with the median, okay, what do people do? My friend's got bypass surgery. If the main artery is blocked, we go elsewhere. And that traffic goes on to Acacia, and it goes over to Devonshire. And I'm here to tell you, the fatalities that we're avoiding with the median, it goes on to the other streets. Station 3, we get fatalities on Devonshire just as often as Hemet. Okay? So those drivers, not adding trips, but you're sending those drivers to the other streets. And we have terrible drivers in town. We have, I'd say, the worst drivers I've ever seen. And they are going to go just as fast on the secondary streets, the other arteries, that they do on Hemet. Florida runs east and west. All right? What happens, we drive into town, the sun comes up. That is half the problem of the fatalities on Hemet, is because people can't see because of the sun. So take that into account. I recognize some of the faces, but your study is incomplete. None of you have done a drive along with the fire engine. 30-ton rig. Pardon? Not Hemet.
I have reached out to the fire chief and the police chief 3 times, and they never responded.
Okay.
So that I could have an emergency responder meeting. I started doing that about 4 months ago. Never heard from them. I called, I left messages, and I sent emails.
Well, we need to put the brakes on, please. It's incomplete. It's incomplete because if the people, if the gridlock is in the downtown, that we're on an ID. The city of Hemet's on an ID. We're trying to stay alive, avoid closure, bankruptcy. All right? People start leaving the downtown and going to the side streets and doing their shopping elsewhere. We're toast. We're toast. That's coming from a citizen, 20 years. 7 and 8, right here. That is the downtown. That street is as wide, probably the last 60 years. It's not as wide as Gilmore and Lyon, where your malls are. It's a narrow area. Taking my median lane, I drive in the middle of the road to avoid the drivers. You take 20%, there's 5 lanes in downtown? 2 on each direction and 1 middle lane. You take 20% of where I can go and where these cars can go, gridlock. That is a bypass. That is a, closure of the main artery. That's death for the city. By going to the other street in a fire truck, and I'm sorry if I'm bouncing around a little, I apologize. We delay care to somebody that's in need. And have you looked on Acacia and Devonshire? What is there? There's schools. There's a lot of little kids. You start sending the drivers to the other secondary streets, then the liability is leaving Caltrans and going to the city, and I wouldn't want to be one that hits the little kid on the secondary because they're bypassing the blocked artery. And this is the downtown. That's the narrowest part of this whole 7 miles. I haven't heard that mentioned. It's skipped over here, but the downtown is, and that sends the drivers right down to where it's the most dense. We have a lot of elderly, homeless. My little bit of hope here, my little bit of hope is I read yesterday that Caltrans in San Jose is working with the community up there because of the homeless wall. I-280. A lot of homeless getting onto the freeways, so they're making their fence bigger, helping the citizens of San Jose by making the fence bigger, and so the homeless can't get through. So I hope Caltrans works with the city to avoid, where you're talking at the east end and the west end, the roads are wider. But the downtown, we cannot have a median in the downtown because it's gridlock. We know gridlock. And you can't go to Home Depot. The homeless down at Steve's Candy and Skater Brothers at the west end of Florida and Sanderson, they still cross. I've nearly hit them